In the quiet city of Lancaster, California, a day like any other was about to take a dark turn. The sun was shining, the streets were bustling, and the humdrum rhythm of life carried on undisturbed. But beneath this veneer of normalcy, a storm was brewing. It started with a spark, a simple disagreement on the road between two drivers. A spark that quickly escalated into a raging inferno of aggression. The driver of one vehicle, fueled by inexplicable rage, began a relentless pursuit of the other. A family car carrying a young family, their 4-year-old son, Gore Adamyan, nestled safely in the back seat, blissfully unaware of the imminent danger. The chase was swift and brutal, a terrifying dance of speed and fury, a deadly game of cat and mouse played out on the unsuspecting streets of Lancaster. And then, with a deafening roar, the unthinkable happened. A gunshot echoed through the air, shattering the illusion of a peaceful afternoon and penetrating the sanctity of the family car. The bullet found its mark, and young Gore Adamyan, an innocent life caught in the crossfire of a senseless act of road rage, was tragically struck down. The responding officers, myself included, arrived on scene to a tableau of horror. The piercing wail of the parents, the haunting silence of the child, the chilling sight of the bullet hole in the car window. It was a sight that no amount of training could prepare us for, a sight that shook us to our very core. The shock was palpable, the horror overwhelming. We were witnesses to the unimaginable, the unbearable loss of a child's life. As the dust settled, the harsh reality of a life lost too soon painted a grim picture on the faces of everyone present. The quiet city of Lancaster, California was no longer just another city. It was a city scarred by a tragic incident, a city mourning the loss of a young life, a city forever changed by a day like any other that took a dark turn. In the wake of the incident, the city of Lancaster was shrouded in a cloak of sorrow and disbelief. The joyous laughter and playful banter that usually filled the streets were replaced with a silence that echoed the heart-rending loss of a child. A child whose only crime was being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The community, once vibrant and full of life, was now a somber reflection of the tragedy that had unfolded. The playgrounds were deserted, the schools quieter. Parents held their children a little tighter, their hearts heavy with the realization of the fragility of life. The grief of the parents was a sight that could break the strongest of hearts. Their son, Gore Adamyan, was a beacon of innocence and joy, his laughter a melody that rang through their home. Now, the melody was replaced with a deafening silence, their beacon extinguished too soon. Their tears told a story of a love that was boundless, of a loss that was immeasurable. The city was in shock, disbelief etched on every face. The senseless act of violence had not only claimed the life of a child, but had also stolen the peace of a community. The incident served as a grim reminder of the unpredictable dangers of road rage, of the catastrophic consequences it could lead to. Conversations were hushed, the usual chatter replaced with whispers of the tragedy. The local church held a vigil, the flickering candles a testament to the life that was lost. The city united in grief, their collective sorrow a bitter pill to swallow. As an officer, witnessing the aftermath was a chilling experience. The city was a ghost of its former self, the incident casting a long, dark shadow over the community. The feeling of helplessness was overwhelming, the sense of injustice gnawing at the soul. The air was heavy with grief, the city mourning the loss of an innocent life, a casualty of senseless violence. Amidst the grief and shock, the wheels of justice were set in motion. In the wake of the devastating incident, the law enforcement community in Lancaster, California sprang into action. The magnitude of the tragedy galvanized our resolve. There was no stone left unturned, no lead too small. This was not just an investigation, it was a mission, a promise to a 4-year-old who could no longer speak for himself. In the eye of this storm, we found solace in the precision of our work. The meticulous collection of evidence, the painstaking analysis of each fragment, and the relentless pursuit of the truth. The trail, though fraught with complexities, was our beacon in the darkness. The breakthrough came in the form of advanced surveillance technology. An invaluable tool in modern law enforcement, its importance was never more evident than in this case. By piecing together fragments of digital evidence, we were able to reconstruct the events of that fateful day. The all-seeing eyes of technology, unblinking and unbiased, bore witness to the tragedy. This was not a faceless crime. There were 2 individuals at the other end of this digital trail, their actions indelibly recorded, their guilt irrefutable. The surveillance footage, stark and unambiguous, led to the swift arrest of the suspects. Their apprehension, while a significant stride in the path of justice, was a grim reminder of the senseless violence that had been perpetrated. And yet, even as the suspects were led away, there was an inexplicable hollowness. We had done our duty, followed the evidence, and brought the culprits to justice. But the victory was a somber one. The community's heartache was palpable, a raw wound that would take time to heal. Justice, although swift, offered little solace to a community still reeling from the shock of an unbearable loss. The memory of that day and the loss of a young, innocent life would remain etched in our minds, a stark reminder of the unforeseen dangers of road rage and its catastrophic consequences. In the aftermath of such a horrific incident, a stark reminder echoed through the streets of Lancaster. The echo wasn't just the sound of sirens or the murmur of a community in shock, it was a potent message about the dangers of road rage. It's a perilous phenomenon that, as we've seen, can lead to unforeseen and catastrophic consequences. In the flash of a moment, a casual drive can morph into a deadly chase, fueled by anger and a misguided sense of vengeance. An aggressive driver, blinded by rage, can lose sight of the fact that the vehicle they're driving isn't just a machine, it's a lethal weapon. And when that weapon is wielded with reckless abandon, innocent lives are at stake. This incident, this senseless act of violence, serves as a stern warning about the potential outcomes of unchecked anger on the road. It's a terrifying testament to the fact that road rage isn't just a traffic issue, it's a public safety issue. It's an issue that can shatter families, rip communities apart, and leave a trail of heartache in its wake. It's easy to feel invincible behind the wheel, to let a surge of anger take the reins. But we must remember that our actions on the road have real-world consequences. Each time we choose to engage in aggressive driving behavior, we roll the dice with our lives and the lives of others. We must strive to keep our emotions in check, to drive with patience and respect for our fellow road users. We must remember that the road isn't a battleground but a shared space, a place where courtesy and understanding should prevail over aggression and hostility. In the end, a young life was lost, a city was left in mourning, and a chilling message was etched into the hearts of all. A message that reminds us of the devastating impact of road rage and the urgent need to combat this dangerous behavior. A message that forces us to confront the harsh reality that, on the road, our actions can and do have life-altering and sometimes life-ending consequences. Time moves forward, but the memory of that fateful day remains. As an officer, you are trained to handle distressing situations, to maintain composure in the face of adversity. Yet there are moments that defy preparation, incidents that leave an indelible mark on your soul. The tragic road rage incident in Lancaster, California was one such event. The loss of young Gore Adamyan, a mere 4-year-old, is a memory that persists, a wound that time has yet to heal. It wasn't just a life that was extinguished that day, but the dreams, hopes, and potential of a boy who had his entire future ahead of him. An innocent life cut short by the senseless rage of another, a reality that remains as haunting today as it was on that fateful day. The echoes of that tragedy have left a profound impact on me as an officer. The images, the sounds, the despair, they serve as a constant reminder of the unforeseen dangers of road rage and its catastrophic consequences. Each time I step into my uniform, each time I respond to a call, I carry the memory of Gore with me. His story, his untimely end, serves as a sobering reminder of the duty I have to protect and serve, to prevent such senseless acts from shattering more lives. But the memory of that incident isn't just a personal burden, it's a collective one, shared by the entire community of Lancaster. A town forever changed, a community united in grief and resolve. The tragedy has left an indelible scar on the city's heart, a painful reminder of the cost of unchecked anger on the road. In the quiet city of Lancaster, the echoes of a tragedy continue to reverberate, a poignant reminder of a life lost too soon to senseless rage.